Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Howard on Sports. My name is Howard, and tonight I want to say that I've come to the realization that out of the four major sports, the NFL is my favorite. Now, baseball, when the Yankees are playing well, I definitely get into them, big time. But let's say the Yankees get knocked out of the playoffs early or don't make the playoffs. I'm not super interested in what's going on other than the Yankees. I'll follow it a little bit, but am I going to really sit down and devote, 3 hours of my life to watch a playoff game? Probably not. Basketball, maybe a little bit. Obviously, I'm a Nets fan, so they're very rarely in the playoffs. I do like the Knicks as well. Of course, they'll be in the playoffs this year, but if I doubt they're going to win a championship, so let's say they get knocked out in the second round, am I going to watch once the Knicks are no longer in it? Maybe, maybe I'll watch a couple games, but not like football. Football this past weekend, I dedicated 12 hours of my life to those four games, right? At least 12, probably maybe a little more, and I loved it. I loved it. The weather wasn't good. We had a snowstorm and it was cold. And just to sit on my couch and put my feet up, I loved it. It was, I mean, I know the local teams aren't in it for me, the Giants, obviously, the Jets, but it doesn't matter. Every one of those games had an interesting storyline. Obviously, Ravens Bills was a great matchup, very even matchup, and you have both quarterbacks who are Hall of Fame level quarterbacks who've never won a championship, and so we knew one of those players was going to move on to the next round and one was going to get knocked out, and it ended up going down to the wire. That was an exciting game. I thought the Rams played pretty well against the Eagles. They were competitive. And of course, Saquon, being the former Giant, I definitely have an interest in seeing him play. I like Saquon, but it sort of makes me sick that he's doing this with the Eagles, to be honest with you. But I'm definitely interested in what he's doing. And you know, anytime Kansas City plays, it's interesting because they're the champions. They're a dynasty. And then of course the Rams against I'm sorry, not the Rams. The Commanders against the Lions, as I talked about in my previous video. Jaden Daniels is a star in the making, and so that's fascinating. So it's just all good storylines, and now it's down to the final four, and most likely on Sunday I'm gonna sit home again with my feet up on the couch, and I'm gonna watch those games because I'd have to admit the NFL is the best product in American team sports.